All right. Welcome, Titano Finance community. Welcome. I hope you guys are doing well on this Saturday morning for me. I don't know what time it is for you, but that's where we go into. Let me know where you're watching from. What time is it? Look at this. We already got Jeremy here saying Austin logging in from North Carolina. What's up, my friends? So today, like you guys said, what I like to start with these Titan talks, right? Just like we did last week. I love to start this off with, especially for the people that are watching the replay, is I like to talk about what this is and what this isn't, because we're going to have, new people coming in every single week. So what this podcast is just a short overview every single week where we can provide, information dense content in a little amount of time, instead of you guys relying on, this giant long AMA that a lot of people just don't have the time to do, right? So today we're going to be doing that again, where we just go over different breakdowns of different little stats of, different sections of Titano talk, along with highlighting some key members of the Titano community with Titano Life. I got a really exciting story to share with you guys today. We got a meme contest. All right. So I was I was told, okay, this was very prominent. All 50 of you watching right now, make sure you go into the Titano Discord under the memes, okay, and blow up your best meme. I need to see the best one you have, and we will be highlighting a key member here on the meme competition, okay, of what's the meme of the week, all right? So make sure you guys do that. So without further ado, we're going to get into the stats right now. They're going to bring up our guest for this week, where we're going to be going over some Titano-specific developing news. So just a quick stats of where we're at this week, just like we did last week. Right now, the current Titano price is 1.2 cents with 79,819 holders with 200. Okay. And this is obviously kind of skewed because of, we did the whole V1 to V2, but with the V2 contract, currently we have 203,370 transactions, and we got a RFV currently of $2,294,560 with a treasury of $6.4 million at a market cap of $43,262,765. So I like to do that every single week, so you guys can kind of cross-reference on what the progression is of all these different stats. So you guys can just see how Titano Finance is progressing as a statistic, and instead of just, all these different cool little updates. So now, without further ado, let's bring on John, and we are going to go into the Titano news part of Titano Finance's podcast, and I will get some cool little graphics at some point where we can transition into these different sections. So here we go. Without further ado, John, welcome to the Titano Titan Talk.
Hello, Austin. Good morning or good afternoon from England.
How are you? Good afternoon. I'm doing wonderful.
Amazing. So it's been an exciting week, hasn't it, for everyone in the crypto world?
Exciting is a term that we could use. It's a term that we could use. I don't know if I would use it, but it is a term.
Yeah. So I hope, firstly, I want to say hello to everyone out there. Hello, Titans. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're staying positive. I know the crypto market has been beating us down this week, but there are plenty of positive things in Titano to keep us positive this week. I promise. There have been some fantastic updates. Should we get straight into it, or do you have some questions first? How do you want to do it?
Absolutely. So we're starting off with Titan news. So just, what's some developing news as far as, what the team has been working on. And then we'll get into what's some trending frequently asked questions that I've seen personally throughout this week of being on the Discord and Telegram. And then any market news that we could go over that relates to the current price of Titano.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So first up, Titano Play has been a massive success. We've watched it's always a great thing when you see those people with, I'm sorry, firstly, before I start, I should apologize, Austin. I know you put your heart and soul into trying to win Titano Play, but it is yet to happen.
It's still not happening, guys. It's still not happening.
Maybe soon. Just keep playing. You're in with a shot, I promise. I myself haven't won either, and I can tell you all the staff are also sitting around in the back room, at the draw, screaming, "It's not me either." So, but on the really, really positive side, we've seen all sorts of wallets win. Wallets with a lot of tokens, and then wallets with hardly very many at all. And it just goes to show, completely fair, as you'd expect. And it really does do that thing, which is give the opportunity to everyone, and that's especially important during these times where you feel that the market's beating down and there are no chances, there's no luck, and then along comes Titano Play twice a week, 25 winners, and really a game-changing amount of money. As you said last
Oh,
week,
absolutely.
I watched your fantastic countdown to the play draw, which I loved, and it got me
Hope it.
amped
I
up.
wish. I wish I got my live reaction. I'm winning, but it
I
is what it is.
know,
We'll get
I
it
know.
one time.
It's almost certainly, with the number of people that were tuning in, you had over 100 people in there at one point, just
Yeah.
chatting away. And I think without a doubt, one week we're going to have 2 or 3 winners on there, and that chat will go crazy, and that will be one for the replays, I'm sure. But yes, so starting with Titana Play, huge success. Following on from that, as you know, we moved some liquidity into PancakeSwap. That was a really big decision. We didn't take it lightly, but it did the trick. I mean, it did exactly what we wanted it to do. We saw the price back up across all the wallets. We've seen the price tracking properly. We're back there. So it was a really important step for us to take, and it gives us the pathway to what we want to do next. So speaking of which, shall I go straight into it? So the
Let's
exciting
go
stuff.
straight into it. Meat and
One,
potatoes. Meat and potatoes.
okay. So firstly, we've been talking about partnerships, and in this coming week, we'll be announcing our first partnership. So that's a big one. We're really excited, and this partnership brings new use cases, new utility, and they come from the off. So as soon as we announce it, within probably that day, but if not within this week, you will have the use cases from that partnership. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So
You
it's
wanna. You
very
don't wanna. You wanna give a little because I like testing you, John. What's is there any hints of the use case
now.
specifically?
Now, Austin, I know you were in the army because I've heard this, but I now question which area of the army is this. Were you in interrogation? Did you? Yeah, I feel these tactics because whenever you start talking and asking me and doubling up, I start sweating in my chair, and I feel it. I feel the need to disclose things, but I'm going to resist. I'm going to resist because I have
You're
the
gonna resist.
the
Okay. Okay.
luckiness
That's
of
fair.
several thousand miles between us. So yeah, I'm going to leave it to the big announcement we have planned for you guys. It's going
Gotcha.
to be great. There's going to be something for everyone. It's going to bring more attention to the platform. We're going to have it out there. There's going to be use case from day one or day two, and then following up with this company, we'll have multiple use cases. They're going to keep bringing it, it will develop. So we're very excited with that. Again, it will bring revenue, and that will mean more money, which means more stable token, which because of buybacks and burns. So yeah,
And I got a
all
question about that, John.
sure.
So with this new partner, and just for everybody watching right now, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not like sitting here creating questions that I already know the answer to. I don't know what this partnership is. So with that being said, is this partnership and the use cases that you're talking about, is this something that is going to help a project like Titano that's here in a bear market that's just on a bloody market right now? Is it going to still be viable and thrivable in a bear market?
Yes, actually, I think when we have the announcement, you'll see this is actually something that works very well in a bear market.
Gotcha. Okay.
These use cases work especially well during these times. Yeah, I'll keep it simple there, but yeah, it's definitely something for the bear market. It will work from day one. It will bring in revenue from day one, and it will actually increase our audience. So
Awesome.
if you to hint at this, if you look at the things that we've been doing, look at the outreach that we've started in the last few months, the communities that we're going out to, we're expanding into China. These are the things that we want to, the people that we want to appeal to, the audiences that we want to appeal to as well. So use cases are going to appeal to them and be and accommodate them. So absolutely, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Now, what else? So That is the first partnership, and we're working on another. We're working on a few actually, but we're working on another, and that we hope to be able to announce in the next couple of weeks. So next week we have the first partnership, and we have something else. We have the announcements of which I think everyone's waiting for, the buyback and burn.
Yep.
I believe this was actually on your frequently asked questions list, but I wanted to
Yes.
bring it up as news as well, and I know everyone's been waiting for it. Now, the question is, I think everyone's been asking, why have we waited so long when we declared that we'd do this in the AMA a few weeks back? And the reason is, well, firstly, the market. If you looked at the market, the collapse of the market really didn't help. And if you ever look at a project where people do these buybacks, they do get eaten up very quickly, assuming there's no other news, there's no other utility, there's no other partnership to look forward to. People will see the price go up, and they'll tend to sell, and there's almost no point, because you lose that liquidity that you had, you lose that treasury fund that you had. So here they're doing it very cleverly. So rather than just put it out there, they waited until a good moment. Firstly, they wanted to get the pancake swap liquidity in, so shore up the foundation, and get the Titano token back online. And then secondly, once that was done, they started writing a script, an algorithm, which will actually handle the buyback and burns in a very strategic way. So this stops it being a manual decision where, oh, we choose to do it or we don't choose to do it. The algorithm will purchase from the market amounts which move in a determined range. So this means that the buyback values will be random, and the burns will happen automatically after each buyback. So that's going to start next week, not
That's
on
pretty
any
cool.
determined day. So we don't want anyone to wait up for it, take advantage of it. But what I really want people to see is that these guys have developed a path so that the token can stabilize, and the trend can start to reverse, and we can start to see those green candles along with other good news, along with marketing, and that's how it's going to be structured. So that starts next week as well.
Awesome. So it's literally going to be this fancy algorithm that's just completely random and obviously not predictable, not even for the team, maybe. Like, not even the
Yeah,
team will
yeah.
know
The
when
script
this
is
buyback
written.
is going to do.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. I don't know. The script is written so that it times it at the best moments, and the burns will happen straight after. So that that liquidity is locked in there for people, and for the token. Yeah, it's really done so that you get the best result. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Because I know that was a big concern for a lot of people. And, they were like, hey, what's going on with these burns and stuff like that. And, sitting here looking in hindsight, because hindsight's always 2020. If I were an owner of a project, okay, because I would like to just compare this to my personal portfolio, I probably wouldn't have want to bought anything this week as far as like highly volatile stuff in the DeFi space, just because, I mean, look what happened, right? So, yeah, I mean, I guess in hindsight, yeah, that would be a really great thing that you guys didn't do the burns right now in a buyback and stuff, because of just everything and the unpredictability of what happened. Now, obviously, we can always say that something will happen next week or whatever, but I think this is a great decision, especially for the team, for not implementing a buyback right now in this nutty market of what just happened.
Yeah, this is something we've talked about a lot, but
Yeah,
when you come to a project like Titano, or any project, what you're doing is you're investing your money into the project, and you're hoping that they'll take it and they'll develop it, right? You don't
right.
actually want them to go off and invest your money in whatever fund they think. That's not what you're doing. You haven't paid them to
Yeah,
invest your money. You've paid them to develop with it, and hopefully change things and create utility and create a project which you can stay in long term, and then see the benefits and the revenue from that project, and gradually the rewards come back to you. That's what you should really be investing in. And so what you really want is a team with a set of steady hands. So when the market is going crazy, the easy thing to do is, hey, we'll just pump this up. We'll throw some money at some marketing, some cheap marketing. We'll throw some money into the pot and send the token up. But that's a reaction, and you don't
yeah,
want a reactionary team. You want a team that is very deliberate. These guys from the start have been incredibly deliberate about every single step of the way, and
yeah.
the market has trashed this last week, and you've seen one of the biggest projects in the world go to almost zero, right?
Yeah.
So, so you need during these times to trust steady hands. You don't want that guy to be catching a falling knife, right? Longing, placing longs as Luna kept falling from whatever down to 0.05 cents or whatever it fell to.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what you want. You've put your money with these guys. They're very deliberate. They're very smart. They're developing. They're working on creating real partnerships, as we've talked about. One being announced this week, and real algorithms to handle things, so that you take out that human element, which just screams, "Oh my God, we have to do something."
Yeah.
No, you have to plan it, because you've got to be responsible for 80,000 wallet holders. You've got to be responsible for this gigantic community, and we have an amazing community of people. And you'll come to the stories in a bit, which I'm sure will be fantastic. But you've got to look after these people, and therefore steady hands. That's what you're looking for, and these guys have very steady hands.
Yeah, and I really like two things that you said, and one is, you know, comparing what you just said about how, like, they could have done that and stuff. A lot of projects I personally probably would have seen, they probably would have listened to the community just to appease the community for doing buybacks, but just like you said, they've had steady hands even when the decisions aren't the most popular decisions, right? I have respected the fact that the team has been able to just be like, nope, we know what we got to do. We're going to wait off on these buybacks. And now listening to what you say, it really does make a lot of sense. So I'm really glad to just hear that, just especially, but this is like the first time I've heard about that. So yeah, I'm really glad. And then the second one is they're taking that human aspect out of these decision making processes, as far as, like you said, with the buybacks and stuff like that. There goes my camera, but it's all good. There we go. But because I remember, I think it was Graham Stephan. Yeah, I think it was Graham Stephan, really big YouTuber. He did this experiment where he wanted to show people that, the famous saying where you could throw a dart at a dartboard with 50 different stocks on it, and you hit one and you could probably outperform the S&P 500. You could
Yeah,
outperform
yeah.
day traders and stuff like that. Well, he wanted to go one step further, and he literally went around the world and had different animals. I think he had like a monkey and a fish. I forgot. He had all these different animals, pick different stocks, doing different things, and they made like incredible profit. Like they outperformed the S&P 500. So it's hilarious when you say that, but at the same time, I love it that you guys are really trying to take that human emotion out of it, because that's what gets a lot of people burned, and especially in markets like this. I was literally just watching Andre Geek actually before we got on here, because he did a great video today, and he was just really talking about the fact that this kind of market is really what's going to make an investor. This is where investors are made, not traders, not people that
Mm.
just are trying to come for the quick buck. These bad down times is where investors are made. So I'm really glad to see the team and hear what you guys have to say, as far as they're true investors. They're holding steady because they know what they're talking about. Yeah, someone even in the chats, they said Michael Reeves. Yes, Michael Reeves did a video too where he made a fish select different stocks or whatever. So yeah, it was awesome. I just wanted to highlight that, because taking the human aspect out of it as much as possible and just bringing logic into it, I really like that. So
Yeah, it's such a
awesome
funny
job on that.
it's such a funny thing, isn't it? Because you're talking about looking after other people, right? You're talking about
Yeah.
looking after people, and then you have to realize that sometimes your emotions get in the way of that. You listen to one guy who's screaming, and then you're on his side because you go, I really feel his passion. But then you listen to another guy screaming the complete opposite, and he's also impassioned, and you think, what do you do, right? So you have to have a very steady hand. You have to have a very clear head, and these guys
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
All right, John. Well, let's go into, let me see here, because I got to make sure I stay on task here. So, what about the market news? So, we talked about what the actual benefits of play now, because we've seen play run through a few different iterations. We've seen me not win every single time. We've seen the most frequently asked question, right, of win burns and stuff like that. So, I hope people kind of got a pretty clear head and an idea now as far as where the team at is with the burns. Is there any market news that you kind of want to highlight that's, because people are like, well, why is the price going up? Why is the price going down? That could be affecting the Titano price specifically.
Well, for sure. I mean, we all know that Titano's paired with BNB. So as
Right.
BNB moves, then Titano moves as well. That's just the way the liquidity works, because at the end you output a US dollar value to Titano. That's
Right.
what we're looking at. And in the last few days, obviously, BNB fell to a low of around $220, I believe. And for the most part, BNB had been holding quite well. But actually, when you look at those numbers, it's fascinating, because Titano didn't drop as heavily when BNB dropped really hard, right? Our people held, our holders held. There was no point selling. No one wanted to sell, we bounced back. So we're moving in relatively in line with Binance Coin by BNB, and watching the market now. If we're looking at the macro, I don't know how much you trade or don't trade, but we're right at the level, the 28K level, where there's a ton of support. And everything the team is doing right now has been really, I wouldn't say a reaction to the market. That's not right. But we are very sensitive to watching it, and we're making those decisions based on, okay, look, the market's doing this. We're going to keep investing. We're going to keep developing. We're going to keep working, right? And that's what we've been doing. Now the partnerships start coming out, and people always ask about marketing. That's when we do the marketing. We're going to market around the partnerships so that we can get ahead of this market as it starts to move. And we do think, I personally think that the market's going to go up in the coming days. It's obviously temperamental, it's volatile, but we're at 28K. We're at the support. Below this, 24, 22. But right here, there's a lot of support. So I think Titan is in a good place to start working and to start pushing forward.
Nice. And yeah, I was even talking to, Chris yesterday on my YouTube channel, and I was talking like, yeah, we're going to probably see a pretty bloody time in the crypto space for a little bit, right? But in the grand scheme of things, because this is where I was talking about, these bear markets is where investors are made, not just crypto, stock market, everything. This is where investors are made.
Mhm.
And you got to think long term. When in doubt, zoom out, not just about the price, but about what you are investing in general. And I think crypto is here to stay. Like, I mean, I'm long crypto. I mean, there are so many valuable things that the blockchain can bring to everyday businesses, real world assets, benefits like that. Like, I just truly think, it's here to stay. So when we're talking about Titano, these are projects that you have to invest in and you see the future in, because there's just not a ton of backspace like you would if you were to be investing in something like Apple. And I personally, that's why I invest into it, is I think the things that you guys are doing, that it has a long future ahead. Now, when it comes to that, like you said, it's still at the end of the day, we're at the mercy of Bitcoin, right? And then Bitcoin's at the mercy of the stock market, and then the stock market's at the mercy of so many other things. So again, when it comes to the price, you have to look at the bigger picture and what could be affecting that. So if you want,
You're right,
yeah,
Austin. Sorry, you're absolutely right. And as they always say, the real wealth is made during bear market.
yeah,
That's what everyone knows. You make money during the bull market, but if you get rich in the bear market, um, because that's when people are digging deep. Right? And it's
yeah,
true. People are digging deep, and the projects that keep going, and that's the question. Which project do you look at in your portfolio? Look at the teams. Are they working? Are they working? Is it just a meme, right? Are they working?
yeah,
Are they changing? Are they moving with what's going on in the world? And if they're creating new partnerships, they're creating new utility, if the focus is on use case, then there's going to be something coming out of this. It's not the business that went into the bear market. What comes out of the bear market is going to be a phoenix from the flames. It's going to be a
yeah,
Titano with a ton of partners. So now is the time. Now is the time to stay. Now is the time to invest. Now is the time to be in it. As you say, yes, we're at the mercy of Bitcoin. Bitcoin can go down, but at a certain point, you have to believe that this is the future. And I'll tell you something. There has been a massive brain drain from Silicon Valley, from all the big tech companies. Some of the smartest people, a lot of the smart people are moving from the Facebooks, the Googles, these gigantic companies, and they're
yeah,
moving into crypto. They're moving into Web3. And when you have all those contacts, not just the smarts, not just the IQ, when you have all those connections that move with those people, it's unstoppable. You can't stop this wave. it's also the other thing is I love how people compare any crypto as a whole to any particular business. For example, they compare it to a Google or to a Facebook. Crypto is international by
Mhm.
definition, so you cannot stop it. In fact, you've seen recently when with Russia and with China, just China now during the bearish moments, during the darkest moments, they've legalized and they've said it's going to be legal tender, and in the future, well, legal it's a legal currency, and so in the future, they're actually hoping to develop their own currency within this year, and when that happens, and then their people can be, let's say, their people can be tracked, and as they move into the digital realm, that's perfect for China. They get all the taxes from all their people. But
Yeah.
what does that mean for the rest of us? Well, it means crypto is unstoppable. We either join it or we don't. And of course, you're going to join it because you want to be part of this much bigger space.
Absolutely, man. So, do you want to get into the meme of the week before we get to
Oh,
the
let me see the
specific
meme of the
Titan
week.
focus?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so I chose this meme of the week because I thought it was hilarious. And guys, just one more time, just to reiterate where we're getting these memes from, you have to be in the Titano Finance Discord. Let me share my screen here. Let's see. Let's see. Right there. Look at that. So I'm sharing my screen. We're going to go over here to the Titano Discord. This is where we get it at, right here under memes. All right. So the meme of the week, I mean, this was hilarious because I felt it personally. All right. And I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So shout out to Ulansik and they are also telling y'all to use the Switch. So I really like that. But shout out to Ulansik. This was just absolutely hilarious. Bullish, bearish, and Luna, right? We're going to the moon, then just freaking drops. So absolutely hilarious. It turned from a blue chip to a meme, right? So I love it, love it, love it. Shout out to you Lancic. You won meme of the week for episode 2.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that.
Oh
I
man,
love
I
that.
felt it. I felt it. I felt it, and it sucks,
Oh,
but it's all good.
were you
It's all
invested?
good.
Were you invested in Luna?
Not Luna, UST. I had so
Oh,
and I even did a video on my personal channel of where I put a lot of my profits that I made from different cryptos. Obviously, I was using Titano as the example, but I would take a lot of profits and put it into my Anchor Protocol account. But I'm glad I didn't do it as heavy as I intended to. But
yes.
I still had a little chunk in there, but it is
Oh,
what it is. I'm waiting to hear back what the revival plan is and see what they do because I haven't sold yet. Because I made a little joke last week on one of my live streams and I said, "Hey, I don't I will wait until the very last day before I take a loss on a stable coin." We're in some weird times, bro.
I know. It's so
Pickles
painful.
Cage. Pickles Cage said BUSD is the only stable coin that I'll ever trust. Hey, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. BUSD, USDC, Tether's starting to scare me a little bit, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
I think USDC and BUSD are solid.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. But
And die, DAI.
yeah, so far steady. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Michael said thoughts on die. Yeah, that's my personal thoughts, anyways. Let's see. So let's get into Titan Focus. All right. Now I promise, guys, I think by next week I will have this done. Okay, where I would like to have graphics, and John knows what I'm talking about. Every time I
Yes,
go
yes.
into these different sections, I want to have these cool little flashy graphics, just like if you're watching the news and they're like, "Now, John, on to the weather" and all that stuff. So, on to Titan Focus. All right. So, just like if you guys are wondering what Titan Focus is something where I thought about where, we always in the AMAs, we try to get all this information and we just dump it on everybody, right? And a lot of it tends to be a lot of just broad information because, for one, they want to make sure they're keeping a little bit of the secrets for just, competition's sake, and they want to make sure it's good and stuff. But then the other reason is we're just unreleasing so much information on you guys that, it just has to be broad because it would take 5 hours just to go into every single one. So when it comes to Titan Focus, I wanted to make it to where we could just drop one specific thing down to the point of what the devs and the core team are working on specifically this week. So they can't talk, they're not allowed to talk about anything last week. What have they been doing this week that has been helping and progressing the Titano economy? Okay, so John, if you could just let us in on one specific thing that the devs and core team are doing, that would be great.
Well, I think I've already talked about it, but yeah, we're finishing off that partnership. It's just been signed, so that's the big one. So we'll be announcing that, I think, on Monday the 16th, I hope. But it will be right at the start of the week. So that's the big one.
Gotcha.
They've done that one, and we're also already on to the next partnership. So we have another one lined up for you guys as well.
Awesome. Okay. And then just to reiterate, because we got 204 people watching right now, there was like, I think about 150 when we just talked about that. Just to reiterate the partnerships that John is talking about. And of course, you can slide back or use your cursor and slide back and listen to that. That was about the mid part of this live stream. Is these partnerships are going to not only obviously bring more people and use cases to the protocol, but it's also going to bring revenue that they talked about, revenue into the project. So we're trying to get away from not being as reliant on just volume alone, right, John? We're trying to make it to where we have multiple revenue streams, so that way everybody, it's that consistent passive income versus just something that is so tethered to investor volume. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. And so to give you on that point, to give you an example, the revenue that we're making from this next partnership, 75% of which will go to a weekly burn address. So 25% will go back into Titano, but
Awesome.
75% is burned. So you can already see it's going to be deflationary. And also on top of this, this partnership in particular will be open, so it brings people from outside the Titano ecosystem. So people can come in and jump in and buy Titano and use those tokens, or just jump in and use the utility, use the use case that's on the website. So it'll be on the website. People can come in and use it.
Awesome. So, all right. So that was the specific thing that they have done exactly this week as far as progressing the Titano economy, and that was working and signed, sealed, delivered. That first partnership that they're going to be dropping this week coming. Okay. So now we just have the last little part of Titan Talk where we get into just a mini AMA where I take 5 different questions from here in the live chat. So make sure, and I've already seen a couple good ones that I'm going to be highlighting. But as we're answering these questions, please, everyone, all 270 of you watching right now, make sure you click it a like if you're getting value from this, so that way we can push this to not just the Titano audience, but people that have never even heard of Titano, so they can see how the team is really trying to provide as much information as possible without like making it feel like it's overloading. So make sure you drop any and all questions that relate, and don't just drop when's the price going up. We don't know. No one knows. All right. So if you do have like some serious questions, absolutely drop them in the comments below, because I want to make sure some really, really good ones are answered. So let's see. There was one question. I'm scrolling up here because you guys were blowing up the chat.
Oh, Eagle is such a cynic. My friend, I will try my best to answer as much as I can.
Let's see. Oh man, I had it, and then my software, it every time someone comments, it like glitches a little bit sometimes. Let me see.
Well, while you're looking, I've got something else to add. So David has been working on the charity element to Titano, and I believe he's going to be starting this this weekend by allowing Titans to make suggestions and vote. So keep an eye on that within the Discord channel. But I think David will be updating everyone on that.
Awesome. Yeah. See, and that was one thing that was, I think we were going to talk about this week, but yeah, I think we're gonna push that off until episode 3, where we talk about more of the charity aspect of Titano. So Pickles Cage, they asked a question. I know. There we go. There it is. Pickles says, "Will the new utility include a burning function?" And they were talking about, and I think you kind of did touch on this, the partnership utility that you're talking about.
Yeah. So yes, Pickles Cage. 75% of all the revenue from the new partnership will be burned, so it will go to the weekly burn address. I think I saw earlier, are the burns going to a dead wallet? And yes, they are.
Yes, Easy Gaming. Is the burnt tokens going to a dead wallet? Absolutely. That was a great question. Gene said, if you don't buy now, Pickles Cage will buy your Titano.
It's such a good name.
It
You know,
is.
when you see some names, you go, "Oh, that's such a good name, Pickles Cage, such a good name."
This is a good one. Here we go. Nathan Miller. They said, "Do the devs have an approximated deflationary rate at the very moment with the play utility?"
I don't have the answer to that, but we can certainly ask them and hope they can get back to us. I think it's quite hard to. I think it's quite hard to know. I know that 13% of the fund is burned. So I guess you could work it out based on how many tokens are in there. But obviously that number is going to change based on how many tokens go in each week and are stored in there. So I think
Got you.
it's going to be a moving number, isn't it? But yeah, I'm sure they could approximate it based on the two draws that have done so far and how many tokens were staked.
Let's see. Now, there was a really good question earlier, and I think I just found it here about the decks. Here we go. It is by Ho Lai. I'm sorry for mispronounce your name. They said, trying to understand a bit more about the new deck strategy. I get the benefits that it will bring. However, at the same time, what challenges do we expect to create successful decks?
I think it's Hua. I'm guessing that's a Vietnamese name, but
Hawaii? Is that how you say it?
I think so. Hua
Okay.
Li or Lai. I'm not sure, but I know Hua means flower in Vietnamese. So there you
Oh,
go.
nice.
There's some trivia for you, but I could be wrong. I could be pronouncing it completely incorrectly. So the deck strategy, of course, the primary reason for launching the decks was to take us off PancakeSwap initially. Now we have control of our liquidity. We have control of that, of how we take back control, because PancakeSwap used to take tokens as part of their fee, and then obviously they would hoard those tokens and sell them, and that would be unpredictable, and it would affect our token, our price. So now we have that greater stability. And to her question, what challenges do we expect to create successful decks? Well, if you want a successful, I can't even say it, successful decks, then what you want is multiple tokens with a lot of liquidity. So you might have a pairing of, for example, USD Titano and then Titano Cake or whatever you want, all these different tokens. So that's the challenge. How do you create all these different liquidity pools? And the answer would be, well, we're gonna do that. The devs have already thought a lot about this, and part of that is in working with these different partners, is in working to onboard those projects, different projects, so that they bring liquidity to the platform, so that they also bring different tokens to the platform. And we're gonna incentivize people through farming, staking, all the things that you would see on any platform such as PancakeSwap. If you look over there, look at what they're doing, we will try and emulate that, and we have a really good plan, a good way of doing it. It's a challenge for sure, but it's very exciting to be able to do, because we already have an existing and very popular project. So now we can take this, we can market it based on our success, we can bring other people in, and yeah, we're off to the races. We do have a head start over almost everyone that does this. So yeah, we're in a good place.
Awesome. And yeah, and I love these types of questions because I don't want people to think that this is like a platform where we're going to be using it to just hype up the project and all that. I love these objective questions and definitely keep them coming, as far as just obviously holding the team accountable, like, hey, this is great, but what are the downsides? Because these are also really good things to know, so that way not only the team can be aware of this as well, but you guys probably sometimes bring up concerns that the team has never even thought of. So love these questions for sure. Let's see here. Now we got a good question by Michael N. They said the mobile app was supposed to be released this quarter. Are we close on this? And I remember something this was talked about way months ago. So yeah, I would love to talk about this a little bit.
Mobile app was supposed to be released this quarter. Are we close on this? We had to put everything back. As you know, it was supposed to be done in this quarter, but everything's been put back. It's still planned. We have the partners. We will update that roadmap in due course. But the first thing has to be to shore up the new decks. Has to be to shore up the project, and yeah, navigate these rough waters right now. And by rough waters, it's obviously the macro market we're talking about. So the priority is to create these utility, to add to the deflation or create the deflation that we need. And and as soon as that happens, we can update the roadmap, and that is definitely on there.
Awesome. And then I wanted to end the final question off because I've probably seen this about 5 times just in this live stream, all right? Because a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, they're spamming it." And hey, I'll read every single one. So this is one of them. Swabby said lottery question mark. Flash D said win lottery. And I've seen a few other people saying lottery. I just don't want to waste people. Oh, here we go. Igor, they said, yeah, what about lottery? Flash D that's said again. So what about lottery? Win lottery. What's going on with this?
Okay, Igor, I can't talk about it yet. I'm joking. I'm joking. Guys, Igor, just for you, we are very close. We're actually working on the front end, and by front end, it's just the web page that's left. So we're working on that page now, the design of it, planning to release it within the next 2 weeks. So it's under the final revision. Everything works perfectly. Estimated release date 10 to 14 days. It's really now about lining it up so that we can market it well, and lining it up so that it fits in after each of our previous releases. So right now we have the partnership announcement on Monday. We have the buybacks coming in. We want to give everything the space it deserves, because each thing is a significant milestone. And then we have the charity thing coming after, and then the lottery. So we aim to have this out in the next 2 weeks, guys.
Next 2 weeks. Okay, sweet. And then I know we've talked about this a bunch as far as cross-chain. I'm going to break my own rule, all right, because we're 41 minutes in, but I want to make sure everybody gets as much value as possible, and this is another great question. So an honorary question, all right? We always take only 5, but here's an honorary question by Nick
Honorary
Stobie. Yeah, honorary. You know how you got like the top 3, but then you got like an honorary mention. So we got an honorary question, all right, by Nick. They said, my biggest question is when will Switch accept cross-chain payments to buy Titano, and when will the cross-chain projects be listed? So, just to kind of mush all this together, do you kind of have a rough timeline, John, of when we can see cross-chain capabilities within the decentralized exchange on the Titano platform?
This ties in very nicely with I was just scrolling through the questions that people post, and everyone was talking about someone was talking about the launchpad. I think you might have seen that, and someone was talking about partnerships and how we're going to bring people in, and the cross-chain element has to come with all those other things, right? So it will come once we have set the ecosystem around Switch. You can't just set up the cross-chain first. A lot of people set things up, and then there's no one coming in through it. So what we're doing is we're bringing in partnerships. We're bringing in people that bring that utility. We're bringing in people that have those technologies already in place, and then once we have liquidity, we have different pairs, we have different partners, then yes, that would be the obvious step: on ramping and cross-chain payments. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think we got a ton of questions answered, concerns, frequently asked questions, and all that stuff. I really hope this was really valuable for you guys. Again, I try to make this as condensed and as short as possible, especially for people that have really busy lives. So, John, is there anything else you just want to really end this Titan talk off with?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Austin. You've been such a positive light. I tuned in last week. I watched your bit on the countdown to Tino play.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. The team loved it. Everyone in the team is so positive, and there are moments, as the community doesn't see it, but we have a team chat, we have a staff chat, and you guys don't see it, but we're in there all the time. Devs are in there. We're in there. We're all in there chatting, and we listen to every single comment that comes in. People that are feeling the market downturn, people that are struggling, and it's reposted in the team chat, and we all feel it, and we come back, and we're trying to provide answers, and we're trying to work, and it's such an amazing community. This is such a special project. The response, the management. By management, I mean the way it's organized. It's just incredible. You feel so in touch with the community, and at the same time the devs really feel the responsibility. So I want everyone out there to know that we really appreciate you, and the devs appreciate you, and they're working their asses off to make this
They
happen.
really are. They really are, man. They really are. Well, John, thank you so much for all those words, and just again emphasizing they really are. Like I'm in that chat as well, like hammering them, like, hey, when's this? When's this? When's this? I need you guys to feed me info for these Titan talks. So trust me, I'm holding them accountable just as much as every single one of you are.
Yeah,
And they really are. They
brilliant.
really are. I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So, with all that being said, someone asked, "Will this be?" Yes, this will be replayable. YouTube takes probably a couple minutes for it to just like process, and then you can literally search this. We'll post the link to this in the Titano Discord and the Telegram. So please make sure you guys rewatch anything if you had any questions or if you kind of felt weird about it. Just rewatch it a couple times until you understand it. And of course, Glitter Storm does a great. She's one of the mods in the Discord. She does a great recap of just everything in a text version of what we're talking about. So please make sure you go over there and reach out to the mods if you have any recap questions or anything like that. So with all that being said, thank you so much, John, for once again for coming on here, taking time out of your day to just help us out with the information and the updates. And until next time, I will see you guys next week in another Titan Talk episode 3, where hopefully we're going to have David on again. Okay, we're going to have David on again talking about the charity and stuff. So I will see you
Amazing.
later, John.
Thanks so much. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Absolutely. See you guys later.